Hey everybody, it's Jonny Bowden. I've been asked the question, why are vegans so fanatic? I was asked this on Quora, and it occurred to me that it would make a pretty good video. So I'm doing it here as well. And here's what I said on Quora. Here's what I say every time people ask me that very same question. All vegans aren't fanatic, first of all. And what you'll find basically is that the ones that are fanatic, and we've all experienced that, we've all experienced the trolling and the hate mail and we've all experienced fanatic veganism. But people who belong to that kind of school of thought are really vegan philosophers. They're people who believe in veganism as a religion. And what unfortunately often happens is that when people get very attached to their religion, they're very resistant to anything that might question that premise. And it's not just vegans. Think about how you feel about your religion or how your parents feel about their religion. If somebody came along and said, you know, there's no evidence that Christ turned into transubstantiation, that Christ turns into the wafer during communion, or that, you know, the gold plates that Joseph Smith discovered are the word of God in the Book of Mormon. There's no evidence for that. People get very defensive about that. Every religion. I'm not making fun of any of them. I'm saying that people get very attached to their beliefs. And veganism is very much, in the fanatics anyway, a religious or a philosophical belief, which is that animals should never be eaten or never be killed under any circumstances. So the problem isn't really that they believe that. I have no argument with anyone who says I have a religion that tells me that animals are sentient beings and we should never ever kill them or eat them for our own purposes. That's your religion. There's no problem. I have no argument. I would never argue with that any more than I would argue with someone who said the Torah in the Hebrew religion is the word of God. That's fine. The problem is that a lot of people with veganism particularly want to then justify what is basically a religious and philosophical belief. They want to justify it with health reasons. They want to say, well, no, scientifically proven. It's much healthier to eat a vegan diet. Those are the people that want to make you tear your hair out, because they make up their own science to support their beliefs. They've already decided this is the way it should be. Animals should never be eaten. Now let's find some science to support that, and that's exactly what they do. That's what the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine is all about. It's an animal activist right group masquerading as a scientific body that evaluates evidence objectively. That's a complete joke. So they find their own science, they make up their own arguments. Things like B12 exists in the plant kingdom. It doesn't. Omega-3s from plants are the same as omega-3s from fish. They're not. Iron in spinach is the same as iron in beef. It's not. So they do that, and they're very fanatic about it, and they don't really want to hear about your science any more than your parents would want to hear about the scientific arguments against their religion. They want to hear that. It's a feeling, and it's felt, and people hold on to it fanatically, and sometimes against any evidence. Any evidence against it is a threat to who they are. And that's how vegans behave, the fanatic ones, the ones you're talking about. I'm not talking about somebody who has a genuine belief that there are some health advantages to a vegan diet. They want to discuss it, sit over the table with me, and we can discuss what's missing in the vegan diet and why it's not a complete diet. And you can show them the evidence, and they go, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, good. It ain't like that. It's very much like an attachment to your beliefs that is defining who you are. You argue with a paleo guy, you're not going to get, you know, there's no religious fanaticism attached to paleo diet. People think it's healthier. If you make an argument, they'll listen to it. They'll argue back and forth. Maybe they get a little attached to, you know, what they believe, like we all do, but they're not acting like religious paleoists. They don't have some bigger, higher principle that they believe in and that will threaten their very existence if you challenge it. That's where the fanaticism comes from, and that's the kind of veganism that I respond to very badly. When somebody tells me, and I have dear friends who feel this way, that nothing should be eaten and that they just love animals and it just hurts them to, that's sweet. That's really very nice. I get it. When you tell me that that's a healthier way to eat, and I know that to not be true, and I know there to be massive amount of scientific evidence to the contrary, that I can argue with. But you can't argue with fanatic vegans, you can't really argue with fanatic anything. That's the nature of fanaticism. So that's my take on why we have fanatic vegans. Hope you liked it. If you did, please push the like button. Better yet, subscribe to my channel and send me some questions. And this is Jonny Bowden, and I'll see you next time.